Next speaker I'm going to introduce to you is Professor Yeling Xu. He's the director of Gerontechnology Research Center of UC University, which is established in 2003. This is a pioneer research center in the field of gerotechnology in Taiwan. Professor Xu happens also to be the editor-in-chief of Gerontechnology, as been previously explained. The title of his presentation is We Are Designers, Smart Living, IoT, and Gerotechnology. Welcome to you, Professor Xu.
For the introduction. The microphone is working, right? Okay, good morning. Again, my name is Yeling Xu. I'm the professor of Mechanical Engineering Department of Yunzi University in Taiwan and the director of Gerontechnology Research Center. I'm also the editor-in-chief of Gerontechnology, the official journal of International Society for Gerontechnology. The topic I'm going to present to you today is smart living, IoT, and gerontechnology. In particular, I'm going to describe all those in a designer perspective. So I added this subtitle, We Are Designers. And actually, I have another title. I'm the CEO of the startup company, Seda G-Tech. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about that. And I often tell people that there are 3 Gs in this aging society that people must know. First is gerontology, number 2, geriatrics. But this third G, gerontechnology, is more closely related to most of you from university, from industry, from business. Gerontechnology, that's what you want to know. And actually, back in year 2000, I tried to come up with a Chinese translation for this word, gerontechnology. You know, gero means 老人, old man. Technology is 科技, technology. 老人科技 is really strange, right? In Chinese, 老人科技 is really strange. But in Japan, when they do this, they often put this term, 福祉, welfare, in there. So we translated into 老人福祉科技. And in China, they call it 老龄福祉科技. But just a couple of years ago, I realized that in Hong Kong, you call this 乐龄科技. 乐龄 is such a better name. 乐龄科技 is so much better than 老人福祉科技. But in English, it's gerontechnology. And actually, Bill there described the definition for gerontechnology. But this is official. This is on the website of ISG. So what is gerontechnology? I'm telling you, gerontechnology is about design. Gerontechnology is designing technology and environment. And the purpose for the design is for the older adults' independent living and social participation. So this is about design. And it's for independent living and social participation. I like the social participation part a lot better than the independent part. Independent part is more like assistive technology, but I love this social participation part so much better. The scope of gerontechnology is our health, housing, mobility, communication, leisure, and work. Or this is the scope of gerontechnology. This is also the scope of gerontechnology, the journal. So in the journal, we often classify the papers into health, housing, mobility, communication, leisure, and work. And you have to know that we do not classify papers into AI, robotics, sensors, that kind of thing. So this is about the needs of the older adults, not about technology. So these are all the covers of the Gerontechnology Journal. And for people from business sector, and this is for you, Forbes had this article in the year 2016. They said the next hottest thing in Silicon Valley is gerontechnology. So let's get into gerontechnology, and we probably will make some money over there. And this is our research center. Our research center was established in year 2003. I'm a little bit proud of that because back in year 2003, very few people care about aging society and that kind of thing. We started out research and development, of course, and we are in a university, so we do have a D school, YZU D School of Gerontechnology, and we focus on transdisciplinary education. And of course, I'm the editor-in-chief for Gerontechnology, the official journal of the ISG. And we also have another journal in Chinese. It's called 福祉科技与服务管理学刊. So if you want to, if you have very good papers, please submit to us. And of course, we do a lot of industry academia collaboration. But in year 2016, we started this company. Actually, in my view, in my personal view, Gerontechnology is only valuable if your research can be turned into real products, real service. So 2016, we started out this company, and we tried to commercialize all our research into products. And this is a very good experience for me. I'll get to that a little later. And okay, so let's stop here a little bit. And many of you sitting there say, okay, yeah, people have been working in this field, and many people have been doing that. But I want to ask you a few questions. Well, this figure right there is a typical model of a telehealth system. When you want to apply ICT information technology into health, telehealth is one of the very first field people think about. So the older adults would measure their vital sign, ECG, blood pressure, blood sugar, and all that at home, and through this big gateway, big machine at home, and send the signal up to the cloud, so the medical doctors and nurses will check on your data and take some actions and so on. But this is the question I want to ask you. So for people who sit down there, are you using telehealth system to take care of your older adults at home? Could you raise your hand if you do? Bill there. Well, Bill is the only person in this house who are using this. Okay, so let's talk about robots. So companion robots. Well, this is a very famous robot, Paro, down there, and that on the top, that's the robot developed by this Taiwanese company. Is also very popular in Taiwan. But let me ask you: are you using robot to take care of your older adults at home? Raise your hand if you do. Bill is again the only person there, and yeah, I think many of you are wearing those wearable devices, Mi Band, right? Or this Leap Beats, 智慧佛珠. 智慧佛珠 is a wonderful product, and but anyway, so many of you are probably wearing those wearable devices. But again, I don't want to. Well, Bill will raise his hand again. And are you using those things to take care of your older adults, or are you using any smart home, smart wheelchair, smart something? Or we're talking about smart this and that, but are you using any of those smart things to take care of your older adults? Well, Bill is the only person in the house. And what I'm trying to get at is people have been working on this field, trying to produce all those products. The needs are there, and the products are there. But those people who have the needs are not using the product. This is not happening yet. This is not happening yet. So this is great opportunity for all of us. And I often use this example to explain what I think is happening. I want to call this color walking stick. Color walking stick. Well, they are sold in Taiwan, and they are pretty popular. The very graceful old lady will come into the store and buy not one, but 8 of them. But they would buy 8 of them, and when they go back home, they don't put the walking stick at the door. They put the walking stick in the closet. The purpose why they bought all those things is, well, they want to match with their clothes. Yeah, when they get out with pink clothes, I want a pink walking stick, and blue clothes with blue walking stick, and so on. And this is another walking stick. I just Googled it from the internet. When you Google smart walking stick, you get tons of them, and this is one of them. And I actually counted this walking stick has 16 different functions, including, auto fall alarm. Well, that is good. And you can listen to the radio or MP3 on your walking stick, okay? And LED lights, charging points, and all that. Okay, so you get the idea. so let's raise your hand again. Which walking stick do you like better? Raise your hand if you like the color walking stick better. Okay, so I see. Well, I think that's 22, 23, 24. Okay, raise your hand if you like the smart walking stick better. That's more, right? Yeah, but if you think another question, which do you think the older adults will like? Well, raise your hand if you think the older adults will like that smart walking stick. Nobody, right? But we are still designing those smart walking sticks, even though we know the older adults would not like it. So I think that is what's happening. The mentality of a designer versus the mentality of a technologist. Technologists, engineers would design something like a smart walking stick, but people would prefer this. Recently, I like to use this persuasive technology by Professor Fogg from Stanford University to further expand this. Actually, this persuasive technology talks about when you develop a new technological product, you actually ask the user to create a behavior that he or she never done before. For example, this is a typical example. Everybody is now doing this, right? 10 years ago, nobody is doing this, right? So this is a new behavior. This is a new behavior. So this persuasive technology talks about how do you create that new behavior? How do you create that new behavior? So people talk about the technology acceptance of older adults is very bad, very poor, because those devices are too difficult to use. They are expensive. They are too difficult to use. That is correct. That is the horizontal axis down there. The ability for older adults to use the product is low. But in this model, they added something in the vertical axis, which is motivation, the motivation to use it. And I often try to think about this, and I realize that needs are not equal to motivation. People have the needs, but people may not have the motivation. So that's the example. For older adults, well, the needs for glasses and the needs for, well, they probably need glasses, they probably need hearing aids. But the motivation for the older adults to wear hearing aid is very low. They are okay with the glasses, but they don't want to wear hearing aids. The needs are the same, but the motivation are different. So how do we, well, there's an action line right here. The action line says that if this is very easy for them, even though the motivation is low, people will still use it. If this is difficult to use or very expensive, but this is life and death situation, so the motivation will be high. But most product falls in the middle. Most product falls in the middle. So that B equal to MAT, the T part is the trigger. It's the trigger. How do you design that trigger so that the user will use your product, that trigger? And for me, I think the trigger should be fun, but not functions. So people will tell you, hey, I have this function and that function, but can you tell me one or two things that is fun to use? So that's the trigger. So I think this is what is happening. And back to this telehealth example. And most telehealth systems, their aims is to connect the patients and the medical doctors. And let me tell you, I'm in telehealth system for a long time. Both patients and medical doctors do not have the motivation. They just don't want to use it. Yeah. So this is some experiment we do in our research center, and we try to change this. If the telehealth system is used to connect the older adults with the family members, what is happening? So this is our model, and actually that's the person who are doing this, and that is a very important person. That's my mother, and well, Professor Zen told you that. Well, I took over editor-in-chief in 2017, and the first journal I edited, I decided that I have to let this very important lady to be on the cover. So that's a privilege of editor-in-chief. So I went to her home to take photo. Well, I took this photo myself and put it on the cover. So she's on the cover of an international journal. Good. And, and my mother is 81 years old. She lives she lives alone. My brother is in Singapore. My younger sister is in the United States. My elder sister is in Beijing. I'm in Taoyuan. So this happens a lot to the current family. My mother has diabetes. My mother also has Parkinson's. So she measures her blood sugar, blood pressure all the time. And I put this Bluetooth receiver. So after she has done the measurement, she doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to turn on the app, or she doesn't have to do anything. She just leave it there. And the measurement will be sent through IoT to my mobile phone. Actually, I just received her measurement this morning. She was 116/73, her blood pressure, 116/73. She was okay. She was okay. And you can see these are her blood pressure measurement. She measured her blood pressure 521 in the morning, 621 in the morning, 534 in the morning. So you can imagine my life. And in the early morning, I was get beep. Oh, my mother is measuring blood pressure. But let's think about if I don't receive those reminders, those beep, it's at like 8 o'clock. I would, something is not right with my mother, right? And sometimes, well, if my mother's blood pressure is high or blood sugar is high, I would call my mother, and my mother would be so very happy. And she would say, oh, I would tell her, why you get so high blood sugar? She would say, oh, okay, yeah, I was so hungry, so I ate something before I sleep and all that. So I have this imagination. My mother, when she checked the measurement, I have this imagination. He says, let's go higher, let's go higher. If the measurement is higher, the son will talk to her. If the measurement is normal, so I don't talk to her. So what I'm trying to say is, I realize that I am the trigger. I am the reason why she does this, and she does this every day, and she does this very first thing in the morning, every day. I am the trigger. So that's what I realized, and with this telehealth system becomes care, interaction, connection, in addition to health monitoring. If you connect patient with medical doctors, it's health monitoring. But if you putting this thing in there. So it's not just health monitoring. I saw some, so that means my time is limited, right? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I have just 14 slides. And with this slides, what is slide number 8? With this slide, I want to tell you that these are the smart home, smart living that is sold in Taiwan. I just want to go through this. This is from Zhonghua Dianxin, the biggest telecom company in Taiwan. Let's see what they sell. Service controller, wireless gas detector, wireless motion detector, wireless smart plug, wireless temperature, humidity sensor, wireless smoke detector, wireless reed switch, wireless IP camera, wireless remote controller. You get the idea. So they call this smart living. They call this smart home. But they are selling some wireless something. And this is another model where they sell a lot of camera. They put all kinds of camera in there. So are they really selling living? Is that your living? But this is what it is right now. So when people say, I have a smart living system, I have a smart home, they're selling this kind of thing. And so that's that. So this is our smart living. And while we use a very standard IoT IT structure, and we try to transform artifacts commonly seen in everyday lives into Internet of Things. And we try to operate over there so that the older adults do not have to learn, do not have to change their behavior, do not have to do anything. They just live in there. So with that, we try to support the older adults through supporting the caregiver. Caregiver include professional caregiver or family caregiver like me or like all of you. And so this is our standard IoT bedroom. We have this bed that can do sleep monitoring and leave bed alert. We have those carpet for mobility monitoring for alert. We have this Whisk Touch for IoT light or call button. We have the Whisk Connect. We have the Whisk Connect, so the blood pressure and blood glucose are from this Whisk Connect. And also my mother is wearing a Mi Band. The reason why my mother is wearing a Mi Band is so that I can track her at home. So that's 1 minute left. So that I can track her at home. So I just checked her. 10 minutes ago, she was in the living room, and right now she's in the bedroom. So actually, when she was in the living room, like when 11 o'clock, I checked her, she was in the living room. So I imagine her sitting in her usual chair, watching her favorite NBA basketball game. Right now, she went back to the bedroom. Probably the game was over or something. So I have this peace in mind knowing that my mother is doing okay, so that I can stand here and talk to you guys about the story of my mother. And so we can put the personalized information on mobile devices for the caregivers. So these are a little something about our bed and so on. So I just skipped this. And this carpet, well, this is a case in the nursing home. This old man, he lives there, and the black tiles are the motion sensing tiles, and the brown tiles are the usual tiles. And after we put those in there, we put down a nice cover, and we also did a little something, did a little slope so that he won't fall. And after that, let me see. Well, after that. Well, when this person is walking on the carpet, and we can see in real time from our mobile device. Yeah, for example, well, this is a dementia patient. So this day at 4 o'clock, she left bed and wandering for like 10 minutes and so on. And we can also keep track of the path he was walking, and the hotspot, and so on. I just need 1 minute to finish this very important thing. And Gerontechnology needs transdisciplinary talent with this designer's mindset. Well, this is what I want to say, with a designer's mindset. With the designer mindset, so we often use design thinking, emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and testing, and the product has to be human desirable, technology feasible, and business viable. So 2 years ago, we started this company, 四大字科 G-Tech, on smart living, internet, IoT, Gerontechnology. And university, we often start from creativity to prototype, and with the company, we put the prototype into product and actually try to sell it. I often apologize to my students, telling them, hey, I'm thinking more and more like a boss, less and less like a professor. So, but then I realized this is good. This is actually good. I want to tell you that having this company is probably the best thing that happened to my professor career. So then we went back to establish this YZUD School of Gerontechnology and give students transdisciplinary learning and real-world problem and experience. And those are the program. But finally, come back to my subtitle, we are designer. When we say we, I mean we engineer or caregiver or business person, everybody, we are designer. We work together and design. Well, we are from different background, but design is our common language. We want to make this thing happen. So that concludes my talk. Sorry for taking too much time. Thank you.